siblings, I'd like to say for myself too, thank you. That's such an admiration for the work that you've done, the way you support families all across the country, nation. We salute you, and you can feel the love, so thank you. He also told me that I stand with one foot behind the other leg like a flamingo. And I can feel myself doing it right now. So, thank you, Congressman. I am a flamingo. A great treat. Our speaker this evening is well known for a tale about a precocious pup who became a household name worldwide. It is a story that is near and dear to my heart because my family was transformed by the love of a special canine, Cowboy. I'm sure many of you can say the same. John Grogan is a former columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer and the author of the #1 national bestseller, Marley and Me, Life and Love with the World's Worst Dog. A native of Detroit and a graduate of Central Michigan University, John started writing for the campus newspaper while plugging away at a double major in journalism and English. His first full-time writing job came immediately upon graduation in 1979 when he was hired as a police reporter for the Herald Palladium in the Michigan harbor town of St. Joseph. After sharpening a few of his skills there, John won a fellowship with the Kiplinger Mid-Career Program in Public Affairs Reporting at the Ohio State University in 1985. John later spent more than a decade at the South Florida Centennial in Fort Lauderdale, where he was a bureau reporter. Then, as project writer and eventually a metropolitan columnist who occasionally entertained readers with hilarious tales of his hairy, slobbery love of a friend, Marley. John took a huge leap leaving Florida and the newspaper world behind. He spent more than 3 years as editor-in-chief of Organic Gardening magazine. From there, he returned to newspapers, spending 4 years at the Philadelphia Inquirer before Marley and Me hit the top of the bestseller list. If you haven't read or seen the movie, I have to ask, where have you been? But for the 405 of you who haven't, I'll just tell you that the story recounts a hilarious and heartfelt moment of his 13 years with a loopy Labrador Retriever. The instant bestseller captured the hearts of millions and reached the top of every chart in the U.S., including the #1 spot on the New York Times bestseller list for more than 4 months. The book was translated into more than 24 languages around the world. John has been featured in, and I have to take a deep breath before I start this long and impressive list, the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, People, Newsweek, Life magazine, and Better Homes and Gardens. He was also on Good Morning America, The Early Show, The Today Show, Fox and Friends, and National Geographic Channel's The Dog Whisperer. In the midst of the buzz around Marley and Me, John decided to take a break from the newspaper industry and focus on writing books full time. In the spring of 2007, he released both Bad Dog Marley, a children's picture book based on Marley's comical antics, and a young adult version of Marley and Me titled Marley, a Dog Like No Other. John now writes a children's book series called The Marley Series. What a great way to get kids hooked on reading, right? His latest New York Times bestseller, The Longest Trip Home, explores his childhood and complicated relationship with his father in a universal story of one man's journey to break free from his parents, discover a life of his own, and find his way back home before it's too late. Publishers Weekly called it a hilarious and touching memoir. I call it a life experience to which we can all relate, finding our own path apart from our parents while embracing the powerful love that only family can provide. Oh, please help me in welcoming John Grogan.